Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the magic of Norway. It's this incredible land of just stunning beauty, but also some really fascinating contradictions.
So I want you to picture this. Imagine a country where, for months at a time, the sun just doesn't set. I mean, you could literally play football at midnight, and it would be broad daylight.
Now, what about a place where on one of its most remote islands, it's actually against the law to die? Yeah, you heard me right.
And get this, it's also a place that holds the key to all of humanity's future food supply, locked away in a super secure vault built to survive literally any disaster you can think of. Yep, this is Norway. And trust me, it's unlike anywhere else on Earth. So, what is it that makes this country so, well, unique? To really get it, we've got to start right at the beginning, with its incredible landscape and, of course, the people who call this amazing place home. When you look at its geography, Norway is just pure drama. It's tucked away up in northern Europe, and it is a seriously rugged place. We're talking over 70% of the country is just mountains, glaciers, and more than 500 islands. And don't even get me started on its famous fjords, those incredible deep-sea inlets carved between massive cliffs. They're actually UNESCO World Heritage Sites for a reason.
Okay, now think about this for a second. Even though Norway is a pretty big country land-wise, about the size of, say, the state of Maharashtra in India, its population is only around 5.5 million people. That's it. That's smaller than a single city like Bangalore. And this huge amount of space per person is absolutely key to understanding the whole Norwegian way of life.
So with all that wide-open space, you've got to wonder, right? How do Norwegians actually interact with their environment? Well, let me tell you, it is not just some casual thing. It's more like a deep, unspoken social contract.
And this is perfectly captured by a concept called allemannsretten, which basically means the right to roam. It's an actual law that gives every single person the right to go out and enjoy nature. We're talking walking, camping, whatever, even if it's on private land. It just goes to show you how deeply things like hiking and skiing are woven into the very fabric of their culture.
And you know what? This incredible connection to nature, plus a really strong social safety net, it clearly pays off, big time. Norway is almost always in the top 5 of the World Happiness Index. People here live these really healthy, long lives. The average life expectancy is over 82 years old. That's pretty amazing.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This incredible quality of life, it's kind of built on a fascinating paradox. Because on one hand, Norway is this super wealthy nation thanks to fossil fuels. But on the other, it's also incredibly forward-thinking and progressive.
So check this out. Norway is one of the world's biggest exporters of oil and natural gas. That's where its massive wealth comes from. But at the exact same time, it was the very first country to go all in on electric vehicles, basically leading the global charge towards green transportation. It's a total contradiction, right?
So what do they do with all that oil money? They don't just go on a spending spree. Nope, they invest it. They put it into the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, which is basically a giant savings account for all future generations of Norwegians. And it's this financial security that lets the government provide things like free education and free healthcare for everybody.
And the society itself has some, well, wonderfully quirky laws. For example, in some prisons, inmates are actually allowed to go out and work regular jobs during the day and then just come back in the evening. And yeah, like we mentioned, up on the Arctic island of Svalbard, it is literally forbidden to die. Why? Because the ground is permafrost, so bodies just don't decompose. And get this, on that same island there are more polar bears than people. How wild is that?
Okay, speaking of the Arctic, let's turn our eyes to the sky. Because in Norway, the normal rules of day and night, they kind of just go out the window.
Up in the far north, summer brings something called the midnight sun. For months, the sun literally never sets. It never dips below the horizon. But then, the complete opposite happens. Winter brings the polar night, a time of continuous darkness where the sun doesn't rise for weeks. It's a land of the most breathtaking extremes you can imagine.
And of course, we have to talk about the aurora borealis, the northern lights. During those long, dark winter months, the sky just explodes with this incredible light show. You see these shimmering waves of green, blue, and pink light just dancing across the darkness. It makes Norway one of the absolute best places on the entire planet to see this magical phenomenon.
All right, to wrap things up, let's take a quick tour of some of Norway's most iconic and honestly just epic landmarks, some made by nature and some made by people.
First up, this is Trolltunga, which means the troll's tongue. And you can see why. It's this thin sliver of rock that juts out 700 meters straight above a lake. Now, getting there is no joke. It's a grueling 10 to 12-hour hike. But for anyone who makes it, the reward is, well, an unforgettable photo and this crazy feeling like you're literally floating on air.
Next, deep inside a mountain, back on that island of Svalbard, you'll find this modern marvel, the global seed vault. Think of it as the ultimate insurance policy for our food. It's a fail-safe backup for all the world's crops, holding seeds from pretty much every country on Earth. The whole point is to make sure humanity can restart agriculture no matter what kind of global disaster happens.
And check this out. How amazing is this? In a tiny fishing village called Henningsvær, you'll find what has to be one of the most stunning football pitches in the entire world. And it's not for some big professional league or anything. It was built purely for the love of the game, so local kids can get out there and play matches at midnight under the summer's midnight sun.
So, from the midnight sun to the polar night, from being rich on oil to leading on the environment, Norway is just full of these incredible contrasts. It's a country of real extremes, but somehow it's found this remarkable balance between nature and progress, between community and the individual. And all of this leaves us with one final big question to think about.